Hi friends, how you doing? Well, it's just going to be kind of a quick video of the bonkers experience I experienced last night at at ER. Do you ever feel like you're in the Twilight Zone? That's what it was like. Okay, we went over there to the hospital, to the emergency room, like the doctor called us and told us to do, and told us to uh, that I needed to see a heart doctor, a cardiologist, and get checked out. And because there was some kind of trip, tripopone, something like that, level was high. And so we went over there, and then they were real busy. So I had to wait about an hour and a half for, you know, a room to become available. And we went in, and they, of course, they hook you up to the machine, and they did an EKG, they did, uh, you know, drew blood, and I, was able to give my urine sample, before going in there because I needed to, and so I thought, well, they might ask for it. They did the last time, so anyway, finally, well, the doctor comes in, and the ER doctor, and asked how am I doing, why was I there? And I told him, I said, I'm fine. I feel great. I feel good. I don't feel like anything's wrong, but the doctor told me to come over here, and see a heart doctor and get checked out because of the triptone or whatever it's called, pone, uh, level was high. So he said, well, we don't do that. We just have, the ER doctor, and we don't have, a cardiologist that, you know, comes in like that. And you know, and yeah, I was shocked and surprised. So anyway, he said, well, I told him what the doctor said, and he said, well, I'll, check into that, and we'll check that out. And then after a while, after they drew blood, and got the test, and that was the second time I'd had blood drawn, at the doctor's office, and then there at the hospital. So he came back and said, well, it was slightly high, but not anything significant. And, and I told him, well, she suspect I have congested heart failure, and wanted me to get, checked out. Thought that I was, might be going to have, a pending heart attack or something. So anyway, he, you know, well, then they drew blood a second time, and checked it again, and he said, well, come back this time, it's just slightly higher. And I mean, we was there for hours. I was exhausted. I was just wanted to go home and go to bed because my back was killing me. I was stressed out. I mean, and I just and I wasn't feeling, having any, you know, heart issues, chest pains, nothing. And so anyway, it was like a wasted trip. I mean, me and my sister go, what the hell's going on? you know, uh, it it was like being in a crazy Twilight Zone kind of reality. I mean, it was, this stuff doesn't even make sense. Because I had an appointment to go Friday, to radio, and they're supposed to give me a heart monitor to wear for whatever, how long. And so, on the EKGs, it does show that I have occasional heartbeat that's, you know, kind of irregular. Once in a while, hit do something weird. And that's probably been going on for, a long, long time. Sometimes I can feel it, it, or, it erase a little bit or something. But anyway, she said that, well, the tryptone levels show that, there could be, heart damage. And so anyway, I just got my prescription for the water pill, today. And, took that because you don't want to be, holding water, around your heart. That's what congestive heart failure is. But I didn't have any other symptoms like swelling in my hands, and, my ankles or legs or anything else. I've never had a, issue like that. And so anyway, I was sitting here this morning. I've been watching videos on how to, fix that cooking of the crack slump. The video on how I can, fix that. And I found the solution, so I hope I can do it. I wanted to make sure I wasn't, wasting my time. So anyway, it suddenly came to me that maybe it was an attack of low blood sugar. So, I'll go on YouTube and I, type that in. And my goodness, you can have like a hypoglycemic uh, event, and it was almost perfectly every symptom that I had the night that I ended up going over to the hospital in the first place. Except mine was like extreme. But it was, and I thought, that's probably it. Because I had a friend one time who had a event like that, and she was at a restaurant, and she called me and wanted me to come and get her because she couldn't drive because of her, condition. And I can't remember if she had eaten and it happened or hadn't eaten and was just sitting there, having coffee or iced tea or something. I don't know. I don't remember. But she got like that, got lightheaded and almost passed out and shaky and stuff, And I thought, is that possible? So I looked at some videos and I'm like, well, I think that's probably what happened. Because nobody checked me for that. Nobody mentioned that. But that's what it, could be. Because so far, nobody knows. None of the doctors, no, and I didn't know, I didn't check. I mean, I could check my blood sugar. I mean, I've got a mojo and all that. I didn't think of that because confusion, and which I had that, and blurry vision and all that. I had all that going on. So, I mean, I wasn't even in normal zone. I mean, I was, and so I never thought, of doing that, but that probably would have been the thing to do. Uh, drop too low uh, in blood sugar because I hadn't eaten for a while. And, I'd had a nap and got up and had coffee and then got ready, to do the video and everything. And I was hungry, and hunger is another symptom. And I was getting hungry. And I thought, well, I'll make this video because that's what I was going to make me for supper. And I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and record it, and then after I get done, then my plan was to eat some of it. But I didn't get a chance to do that because I got hit, when I went to the bathroom before I could, have a chance to, and that's how I ended up going to the emergency room. And none of the doctors had, even, thought of that. But it also said in one of the videos that it can be misdiagnosed. Well, yeah, I think so. Pretty common, apparently. So, they check for everything else. They check for, a mini stroke. They check for, a CT scan on my chest, and, they couldn't find nothing. My heartbeat wasn't real bad. The EKG wasn't real bad, and it was probably normal for me. Because I've had quadruple bypass and all that kind of stuff. And so the doctor wanted me to go on high blood pressure, and I said, well, I don't really think I need it. I said, uh, normally my blood pressure can, fluctuate a little bit, but it doesn't get up in the real high range. It might get up to borderline once in a while, but not, I don't think, right now. I said I did find my wrist blood pressure. I haven't been using it for quite a while, and I'll start keeping an eye on it, and then we'll go from there. See what the results over some little time is. And now the water pill is supposed to help with that too. So anyway, I told her I'd be copacetic with doing the water pill thing. So anyway, that might be all it was. And this congestive heart failure thing might not even be a thing. Uh, and it could have to do with my adrenal gland having that spot on it, which can be a little nodule, can be a little. The doctor said, well, that's pretty common, and that she wasn't concerned about. But I insisted. I said, well, I would like to have the test done on that also. And so Friday, when I go over to the hospital to get the heart monitor, then we're going to go have the labs done on that. Because I want to get that tested, because that can also cause the event that happened. Because if your adrenal gland isn't working right, it can cause, a rush of like cortisone, or insulin, and then cause stuff to be released in your system that might have triggered the event that and the adrenal gland can cause a lot of other issues that could be at the bottom of what some of the issues that I've been having. So I definitely want to get that checked out, and that could be the culprit. They just don't know. Well, so I'm just guessing, but it's a good guess, because sometimes I can be pretty intuitive, and when a thought like that comes to my mind, it's a good idea for me to follow it and check it out, because it came to my mind for a reason. And because I hadn't been thinking along those lines. It just, the thought just popped in my head that it could have been low blood sugar. And so that's what I'm thinking it was now. And oh wow, I was going to make this little video a little short, but it's kind of long. So here I get to talking and trying to explain stuff, and it's so anyway. That might be solving the mystery. I mean, because everything that's been happening, the last few days, it's been a total mystery. You know, it's been Twilightzone mystery, totally bonkers. Yeah, the whole deal has been totally bonkers, and I don't know whether to call my doctor and tell her what I think. That I think that's what it is, because doctors don't like you being a doctor. And I'm not a doctor, but I am intuitive, pretty much. So, and things always work out better when I follow my intuition than when I argue with my intuition and don't listen. So anyway, and you ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, and some, a lot of you men too. Anyway, I guess I ought to cut this off. Uh, I just had a little bite to eat because it said, eat a little bit, you know. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to, take a little walk. I said, I've got one of those machines, that you sit on the floor and you just like pedal it, like riding a bike. Something. I'm going to put that under my table here and start using it more. I haven't used it for a while because I've just been so, busy with other stuff. And so I'm going to start doing that, like after I eat, because I have a tendency, like after I eat, like within an hour after I eat, I get so sleepy and drowsy. I've actually like dozed off sitting in my chair, my lounge chair, watching TV, and then I would say, man, I better go to bed. I'm about to fall asleep here in the chair, and that's not comfortable. So anyway, I just want to let you all know, so you don't worry. And boy, yeah, I think this is going to take a little worry off my mind too, because the doctors are having me kind of scared. My doctor is, well, it wasn't my primary care doctor. It was like an assistant or a what do you call it, physician's assistant, who maybe like in training to be a doctor or something like that, and has gone through a lot of training, but is like not a totally full-fledged doctor yet, like a PA, physician assistant. My brother, who's a doctor, was a PA for a while, and but anyway, it's you know. Well, see, well, I've had a heart history, so it might be natural for him, to go in that direction instead of the direction of, because when I was young, sometimes I did have symptoms of being hypoglycemic, and so anyway, I bet that's what it was. But I ain't going to tell the doctor. Now I've got an appointment to go to Sarah. I was supposed to call him today and see my doctor again in the next day or two. But I don't think I need to do that. Because they're just going to draw blood again. And it's just going to be like in a loop. Like a... and so I got an appointment to go back and get, rechecked and get things checked out again as a follow up. And then I'm going to bring it up what I think happened, what I think it is. And they can like it or not, But that's just the way it rolls. everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm trying not to bore you to death, but this has just been such a adventure experience that I just had to share it. I mean, it's buggers. Okay, thanks for watching and hanging in there to the end. I appreciate it. And sometimes it's not till the end till I come up with the good stuff. So you need to watch all the video all the way. Always. Okay, take care. Love you. And be good. Be kind. And love everyone. Bye-bye. Subscribe and like. Thank you. Thanks for watching.